Naming and saving your workbook. Before I show you how to save a workbook, let me talk to you a little bit about naming your workbooks. By default, Excel names blank workbooks Book 1, Book 2, and as you see here, Book 3. That's fine, but you obviously want to give them a far more descriptive name, and you should think about descriptive names. This becomes more important as you begin to create and work with several different Excel workbooks. You want to be able to choose the right one easily when you go to your list of Excel files. For example, you might create a workbook you name home_budget. That's fine, but next year, when you need to create a new workbook for the same thing, your yearly budget that is, what will you call it? So you might want to do something like give it Budget Home 04 for the year as part of the file name. So the file name might look like, let me just give you an example here, just typing it into the cell. Budget Home 04 as a file name, because that would allow you to differentiate that budget from your 2003 home budget or your 2005 home budget, for example. So it's just to give you an idea that you should try to save with a descriptive file name. To save an existing workbook, you can press Ctrl+S on your keyboard, or you can press the save icon on your toolbar. However, let me show you how you would do it normally through the menus. You'd click File and then click Save. The first time a workbook is saved, you will be prompted to provide a name for the workbook under File Name here. You type a name under File Name, such as for this it would be Team C Class Sales, and then press Save. You can make changes to the format the document is saved in too. For example, if we wanted to save it with a different format, we would go back here, we would click File, Save As, and then instead of giving it a new file name, we could save it by a different type. So we'd click on the down arrow here and select a different file type. For example, we could save it as a web page. So this gives you an example. Normally it would be saved in regular Excel format, but for this purpose we could save it as a web page or even a template if we wanted to. But that gives you an example of how you would use that. However, I told you that the first time you save a workbook, you're prompted to provide the name. But each subsequent time the file is saved again, using the same name, you can press Ctrl+S or the save icon on the toolbar or under File and Save, and you won't be prompted then for the file name again. It will just save the file. If instead you do want to save your workbook as a different file type as I showed you before, or you want to give a different name to this particular workbook, you would click File, Save As, and then type a different name under File Name, and then click Save. Otherwise it will just be saved each time under the same file name. One last thing to note. Basic Excel worksheet and workbooks are saved with the .xls file extension.